I have been trading for over 6 years now, and in the last 3 months I made over $40,000 in profit. One of the big reasons why I'm able to do this is because I use 3 indicators every day. I don't use them to just get signals I can follow blindly. I use them to save time, brain capacity, and most importantly, to have the best possible focus on my execution and my risk management. At the end of this video, you will know exactly how to set these indicators up on your chart to find the high probability setups I use to make over $2,000 on average per day. Furthermore, the goal of this video is to shift your perspective to how simple trading really can be if you just stick to a few rules and a system that is repeatable and reduces emotions. I'm sure this video will change your trading forever, so make sure to stay to the end to not miss out any details. So the first indicator I use is the price action suit by TRN Trading, this one right here. It displays the important levels I need for me and also the different sessions, New York session, London session, Asian session. So it's easy, you can see all this on your chart right here, the New York session in this case, and all the important levels like current day high, previous day high, current session high. That's what we need this indicator for. And the second indicator I use is the swing suit by TRN Trading. And this indicator for me displays the chart structure, higher highs, higher lows. You can see we are in an uptrend. And in the settings, I'm enabling the swing trend feature and also the support and resistance feature. This way, on the one hand, you can see the indicator displays support and resistance levels for me. And also this line up here shows if we are in an uptrend, then the line is green, or if we are in a downtrend, then the line is red. But I will tell you a bit more about all these details about these indicators in a few seconds. Let's continue with the third indicator, the Trend Bars Pro indicator by TRN Trading. And there's one simple thing the indicator does for me. It displays different candlestick pattern based signals on the chart. These ones here with the green arrow for upward signals and with the red arrow for downward signals. And if I find one of the setups I want to trade, these signals are my confirmation signal, my entry signal. Another important thing the trend bars do is they display candles of a higher time frame. It's another strong feature, and this is also something I need on my chart. I want to have a look on the daily chart if I'm on the 5-minute chart on a lower time frame. And yeah, this is all I need for now from the indicator side. And as you can see, there are just a few rules, a few features I need, because it's possible to keep it simple here. We have just a few rules, a few features from the indicators, and the main goal with the indicators is that they save me time, brain capacity, so that I can focus on my execution and also my risk management. By the way, if you want to get access to these 3 indicators, have a look in the description below. There's a link where you can get access. As I already said, one of the most important things the indicators do for me, they give me the capacity to focus on my risk management. Regarding my risk management, I want to make a few things clear and how I do it. And let's say we are just entering a trade right here, and therefore we also place a stop loss right here. And this stop loss equals exactly 1 risk unit. This means if we have a loser and this trade goes into the stop loss, then it means that we're losing 1 risk unit, right? Now the important thing is, if we have a winner, we're gaining at least 2 risk units because of the price we chose, or even better, 3 or above risk units. So this means if we have 1 loser and 1 winner, we are still in the end in profit with 2 risk units. And this also means that even if you have a 40% win rate, this is enough for this strategy. Because it means even if you have only 4 winners out of 10 trades, you would still have a win rate of 6R, 6 risk units. So let's say you're risking $100 on 1 trade and you're winning 4 out of 10 trades like this. This would mean you still have a win of 6R, which means a profit of exactly $600. Not bad, right? So now let's move on to the basics about how I use these indicators and how the setups look like I use to make thousands of dollars trading each day on average. And therefore the first thing we need to know is we're trading only during one of the sessions, Asian, European or US session. In this case, I'm using the US session as an example. And then the next very important thing is that we find an uptrend that's forming during the session, like this uptrend right here, this one, with higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And if we get something like this, we can look for an entry. And therefore, we are waiting for a pullback inside this trend, yeah, this one right here, to a previous high, which is this one. This is what we need. If we get a pullback and then afterwards bounce off, like here, we know this is the time where we can look for an entry signal. And if we choose a target, it's important to choose one of the important key levels. And here in this case, it's the previous day high. Furthermore, we're placing our stop loss always below the pullback right here. And it works the same in downtrends. Yeah? You can see we have a lower low and a lower high and another lower low. It's a clean downtrend. And then in a downtrend, we are looking for a pullback to a previous low, which would be this one right here, this pullback, and then a bounce off for continuation of the downtrend. And then again, we're looking for a key level as target, like the previous day low. And for the stop loss, we're placing it right above the pullback. And the cool thing is that the indicators are doing the work for me to easily spot these kind of setups. First of all, the price action suit indicator displays the session for me. And as you can see here, and also important key levels like the current New York session high or the previous day high, the current week high or the current week low, previous week low, previous day low. Everything you need in the settings. If you scroll down, you will find all these levels right here. You can choose which one you want to display. But in my case, for this setups, it's okay if we have the current day low, the current day high, the previous day low, the previous day high, the current week low, the current week high, as well as the current New York high and the current New York session low. That's completely okay. And then the next step, we need the swing suit indicator. On the one hand, displays the chart structure, you know, higher highs, higher lows. We are in an uptrend right here. And you can also see it on top here. So green, green, green means we're in an uptrend. Yeah, we have some gray dots right here, but this just means transition. So we're still in an uptrend. So even if they turn to gray after we had an uptrend, it's still an uptrend, you know? Furthermore, the indicator displays important support and also resistance levels, like here. And that's where we can very easily spot these setups. Here in this case, you can see it was a nice pullback here to this previous highs in this uptrend. And if we here bounce off, we would have a nice target, the current New York high. And in this case, we just need the confirmation signals from the Trend Plus Pro, and I will show you how this works in a few seconds. But before, we need to talk about how we can find a validation for a signal, and for sure also how we can find a signal. And in this case, we are working with a high time frame bias, which means in this case that we're taking a look on the daily chart. And if we have an uptrend on the daily chart, like in this case right here, where we print higher highs, higher lows, then we know on the lower time frame, for example, the 5-minute chart or also the 1-minute chart, we are only looking for long entry signals, like here in this case, where we had an uptrend and then this pullback right here to the previous high, and then afterwards we bounced off. So this is the time where we start looking for a long entry signal, because we know we have an uptrend on the daily chart. So this is the right setup to place a long entry. And to find an entry, we're using different candlestick pattern based signals, like for example, bullish engulfing patterns or evening and morning stars. There are different ones. And if you find one of these signals, then you can enter a long trade if you have a setup like this, and also the bullish daily bias. And then it looks like this in the end. So here you can see we had a nice uptrend right here, yeah, with a higher high here, then a little pullback to this area and also this previous high right here. And afterwards we bounced off and formed this morning star pattern. This morning star pattern in this case is the confirmation for us. It's the long signal we need. The morning star in this case, a large bearish bar, then a doji or pin bar, and then a large bullish bar, which also closes above the doji. And only after we have one of these candlestick patterns, we are allowed to place an entry, a long entry right here at candle close. Then we can target one of the key levels. In this case, it's the previous day high. And again, the indicators make it extremely easy to spot these setups. Like here in this case, where we have a clean uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. And you can see we have the green swing trend line, which easily shows us that we are in an uptrend. And here in this setup, we just had this pullback right here, yeah, to this area, to this previous highs. So this is the time where we want to enter a long trade. And that's why we turn on the Trend Bars Pro indicator, which finds these signals for us. And here we have it. In this case, it's a morning star pattern, a confirmed morning star pattern. It's only confirmed if the last candle closed and it still remained a morning star pattern. And if you go to the settings, you have different signal bars you can choose from. They all work as a perfect entry signal. You can see them here, the down signals and the up signals with the green arrow, down signals with the red arrow. But if you remember, we need a further confirmation for this signal, and this is the high time frame bias, the daily bias, and therefore we're going to the settings of the Trend Bars Pro and we turn on the high time frame feature and we choose the daily time frame. And furthermore, we are choosing 5 candles to display on the chart. So we will see the last 5 candles of the daily chart in this case. And here it is. You can see the last 5 candles right here of the daily chart. And what you can see is that we are printing green candles. And the green color means that the Trend Bars Pro detected an uptrend. So the daily chart is an uptrend. That's all we need to know. That's our daily bias. And now that we know that we have a bullish daily bias, we can trade this morning star pattern, placing the entry right at the close of the pattern, always the stop loss below the last pullback, and then we can target our key levels. In this case, you can see the current daily high, the current weekly high, and the previous day high. They are all clustered. And this is an even stronger sign that this is a perfect target, because these are levels where traders place their stop losses and the market makers will hunt this liquidity. So there's a high chance that price will visit these levels. So it's the perfect target. And as you can see, this would have been played out very well, hopefully. It's close, but here it is. Yeah. Is a winning trade. You can see we reached the target right here. Now I want to give you some more trading examples, how to use the 3 indicators to find the setups and also to validate the signals. So for you just to get a bit broader perspective on what's possible, and also for you the chance to practice all this a bit more. Here we are on the NQ 5-minute time frame and we're doing the London session. And the price action suit is displaying it for us and also the most important key levels. So if we turn on the swing suit indicator, it's easy to see that we are already in a downtrend, printing lower highs, lower lows, and also the swing trend line on the top signals clearly a downtrend because everything red here. You also can see that we had a breakdown below this previous low, and then here we had a little pullback to this previous low. So this is the point where we are starting to look for a short entry signal, and therefore I turn on the Trend Bars Pro indicator. And here we can see that we already have a nice short signal, and it is this bearish breakdown bar right here, because after we retested this area, we started a little consolidation, this one right here, and this breakdown bar is the confirmation that we now have a breakdown below this range after the pullback. and that's a perfect short entry signal, and the signal bars in this case makes it very easy to spot these signals. Furthermore, we can see the last 3 candles of the daily chart right here, and we can see that we are in a downtrend because today we are printing a red trend bar, which means downtrend. So this is the final confirmation for our short signal after the retest. So let's place a short order. In this case, I will place the short order right in the middle of the breakdown bar with a limit order because we don't have a clean area of liquidity nearby where price will move to. So this is a bit more risky. And I want a better risk to reward ratio. That's why I'm doing this, the stop loss above the pullback. And then the same reason we don't have a liquidity area nearby, I will only use a risk to reward ratio of 2 in this trade. So let's see, the limit order gets triggered here and afterwards the price moves down and also reaches the target. So, and here comes another bullish example. We are on the ES 1 minute chart. And this time we're trading during the London session. We turn on the swing suit indicator, which displays the trend for us. And with a trend line, we can see that we're still in the greens. So we are in an uptrend. We are allowed to look for trades. And as you can see, we also had a nice pullback right here, yeah, to around this level, this previous high. And then we started to bounce off. And this is the time where we want to look for an entry signal, and for sure again we will use the Trend Bars Pro. Are coming up with a nice breakout bar right here, another long entry signal after the pullback. And furthermore, you can see these are so uptrend on the daily chart, and this is the confirmation for our setup, so we can enter a long trade. And here in this case, we'll again enter right at candle close, place the stop loss right below the pullback, and then we have the current daily high nearby, the perfect target for us. So let's target this level, and we have a risk reward ratio of 2.44, which is also completely fine. So let's see, and again the setup plays out and we're reaching our target. And another important thing is that you can set alerts for all the signals from the Trend Bars Pro in the settings, which makes finding these setups even more easy because you can automate the whole process. If you are in an uptrend, for example, and you're during a session, just activate an alert for the signals from the trend bars and you will get notified, and then you can look if it's a valid trade. If you look on the high time frame bias on the daily chart in combination and it's a confirmation for the same trend, then you know you're ready to enter the trade. And with these setups and indicators in combination, you're definitely able to reach your trading goals. Doesn't matter what it is. For example, passing prop firm challenges like Sammy did with this system, or just looking for crazy banger trades like a 10-to-4 risk reward ratio like from Bruno in this case. This is possible because the key levels sometimes can be far away, and then you can still target them and have great risk reward ratios. And yeah, this is not everything. Here another banger trade, great risk reward ratios, and yeah, all here another banger trade using the same system from Timo with a risk reward ratio of 11 plus. So yeah, you can definitely reach your trading goals using this system. And if you want to get access to these indicators, have a look in the description below where we have the link for you. And here's another offer for you. If this all seems a bit overwhelming and complicated and you don't really know where you're at regarding your trading, and if this is really the next step for you, then please book a free strategy call with our pro traders from our TRN Trading Academy, because they will take the time with you to take a look where you're at regarding your trading right now, how they can help you, and how you can take the next little steps to move forward and to move to the mindset and the skills of a trader who is able to execute these setups I already showed you with confidence, with patience, and proper risk management. So with this said, thanks for watching guys, and hope I see you in the next one.